Hello again, gang. Welcome back to another Football Manager 2023 experiment with me, Jayhuahua, of course. And today, we're talking about another attribute breakdown, another one of these that seem to do so well on the channel, and we all know and love. Today, if you watch the Mad Scientist database video, you'll know what's coming. You've clicked on the thumbnail. You've seen the title. You know what it is. I don't know why I'm building up all this drama and tension. It's work rate. Crap intro that was. So here we go, gang. Yeah, work rate. Working hard or hardly working. Classic. Here we go. Also, representing the new skin that I put on in the olden days episode the other day when that got released, whenever this goes out. Anyway, link to this skin is in the description. It's a SAS23 skin. It is absolutely amazing. You can tweak all these bits and bobs all over the shop, and I highly recommend it. There's so much to look at. You can't look at the pros and cons, unfortunately, because I'm not scouting them. Right, working hard or hardly working then. We have got two strikers. Exactly identical attribute breakdown, except work rate is 1 for hardly working and 20 for working hard. In terms of the hidden attributes, they're all at 20s, except 1 for loyalty, 10 for controversy, and 1 for injury proneness. In terms of height and weight, they are both 6'3". 6'2", sorry. I just accidentally put another inch on him. I think I just accidentally scrolled down and put an inch on him. Just had to reload the save file just to make sure. Yes, I did. Yeah, so there we go. 6'2". I accidentally did do it. Anyway, they're both English. They're both without a club. They both got very similar reputations. They are 15 years old, exactly the same birthday, as always. So we're going to jump forward 1 year, see where they go, see what clubs have picked them up. And there we go then. Chelsea and Aston Villa have picked up the two fellas, and hardly working has gone to Chelsea. There's a joke in there somewhere, isn't there? Chelsea number 9 curse, Torres, Lukaku, Aubameyang, insert other players. He's gone to Chelsea then. He has not improved his work rate at all. He's worth £32 to £96 million, £180 a week. Same as working hard, who's actually 3 attributes better off. If we go and have a look at the comparison, working hard has actually got better at attacking and defending. So it's determination, off the ball, marking and tackling. Marking and tackling, not really that pivotal for a striker, whereas heading, technique and decisions and pace and strength are probably better attributes to have improved on. So I think hardly working's improved better than working hard. That being said, the biggest one here, off the ball of course as well, is really good for a striker, but the biggest one is determination. Determination being the big singular attribute to improve there, because determination is very important. Or is it? Video on the channel showing determination actually doesn't matter as much as you might think. But here we are then. Work rate, of course, being the big disparity between the two players, and we are hoping to see at least a decent variation in their careers. So, as always, we found out where they've gone for the first season, Chelsea and Aston Villa. We're now going to jump through 3 more years to get into the meat and potatoes of their career. But before we do, if we can, just take a second, sit back, relax, and hit that subscribe button, because it means a hell of a lot to me, and it means you can be kept up to date with all the other experiments and all the other videos that come out on the channel. There's plenty already there, so you can go back and binge if you've been here for the first time. If you're not here for the first time and you've not subscribed, you keep coming back. It's an awkward username to spell. Just bloody subscribe and save yourself the hassle. Like the video as well, and of course, as I always say, please do leave any suggestions for not only this experiment, about what you think you might have changed or things you would like to have seen done differently. I would love to hear any ideas that you might have for further experiments down the line. The ideas that are coming through are really ramping up. Some fantastic ones that have come through. Some already out on the channel, some already in the pipeline to do. Some I don't even know about yet because you've not told me. So please do let me know. So without further ado, let's jump forward 3 years. See how they're getting on at a tender age of 19/20. And as you can see, we've got working hard on £59,000 a week, 160 out of 200, can also play as a cam and a centre-back. What are Aston Villa doing? Aston Villa. Makeshift. Who's put him there? What attributes has he got that make you think he's a good defender? He's got decent pace, good anticipation, okay bravery. His tackling's in the mud. Marking's up at 9 now. Jumping, reach, and heading are okay. Like all the things you look at for a defender. All the things you look at for a defender, I'm not massively interested in. There's his polygon, fantastic. Direct your attention over here to the career stats that I've got every single place because I've not updated this skin before this experiment. Everton had a spell at. So if we go and have a quick look here, he played twice for Aston Villa off the bench in the 24-25 season. Then he went on loan to Everton in the Championship. So Everton went down. They are back in the Premier Division. Graham Potter is in charge. Interesting. And he's come back after scoring 19 for Everton. He's come back and he's now got 22 in 37 for Aston Villa. 8 player of the matches. And he's now transfer listed by request for £87 million. He's wanted by Liverpool, City, Newcastle, Tottenham and Bayern Munich. I would love him to go to Newcastle out of those teams. Yeah, because I don't think he's going to play as much with Erling Haaland at City. Harry Kane's still at Spurs. I don't like Liverpool. And I'd like him to stay in the UK. So not Bayern Munich. So go on, Newcastle. That's who I hope he goes to. But who knows? Hardly working then at Chelsea is 22 attribute points worse off. And he's on £5,000 a week more. He has never been on loan. The Chelsea have kept him on the books. 15 games that season. 7 goals. 13 of those appearances were off the bench. So that's a fantastic return. 2 starts, 7 goals. 13 appearances off the bench. And 6 appearances off the bench in continental competitions and 3 goals. I'm not in the way, no, not in the way. So 10 goals in 21 games, 19 of them off the bench. Really impressive. And here, 8 goals, 18 appearances as a substitute, 34 substitute appearances through the whole season, 11 goals. So 11 in 34 is not too bad. Not the worst record in the world for a young striker. But all of those being substitute appearances is pretty good, right? The hardly working is doing okay. He's not improved anywhere near as much, but is that the game time? Is that the game time that's handcuffing him? I don't know. He's still only 19. He's still got plenty of time, and I think he will get there to his potential because he's already got to 138. He's improved nearly 50 attribute points in 4 years. How are his hiddens? They've jumped around a little bit, but there's not a lot that's happened to him. And again, very similar over here. Professionalism down at 13. Ambition down at 13 as well. So these have actually changed massively. Controversies down at 7 for working hard. So his hidden attributes have fluctuated massively. And his personality is light-hearted. In terms of international appearances, then he's got 3 goals in 3 appearances for England. 17 goals in 18 under-21 appearances as well. We are in 2026. I would think that the World Cup's probably going on. And there we go. Just having a quick look over. We've just popped in and there's Ralph with his big smiling face. If you've come for Ralph Hasenhüttl bingo, you can save yourself the rest of the video and you can sod off because he's here. He's here. He's the manager. He's been here for nearly 2 years and he's working hard off the bench with a goal. Yeah, his 3 goals have come in 2 substitute appearances for England. Really impressive. Hardly working has only been capped at under 21 level. Not been capped by England. Of course he hasn't because he's rubbish. So 5 years then. We're going to go to their mid-20s. What we're going to do now is I normally jump forward about 5 years, but I think working hard's going to make a transfer. And I want to see how big of a gap this becomes because I'm currently at 22 attribute points. I think this gap's going to get bigger. I think hardly working probably will get there in the end. So we're going to just jump forward 2 or 3. I think we're going to do a very quick check-in in 2 years in 2028. Well, that's surprising. The gap's closed massively. Only 8 attribute points in it. Working hard's gone to Bayer Leverkusen. did not expect him to go there. £96 million he got sold for. Literally, the summer we were there, he's got 19 goals in each of his seasons for Bayer Leverkusen. Identical, really, apart from one extra game here. 7.63 over the season. 5 player of the matches, 8 assists, 19 goals. Very satisfying. He's up at 182, but it's hardly working. His work rate's up at 7, so his work rate's improved, and that's really helped him round himself out as a player. So he's had to improve that work rate. So by improving that work rate, he's actually brought himself much closer, and he's now only 8 attribute points behind. In terms of internationals then, he's got 2 caps and no goals for England, whereas 12 goals in 24 caps for working hard. The Premier Division, Chelsea have just won the most recent season. Hardly working in that season, got 31 goals in 38 games, 37 of them off starting, 1 off the bench. So this is the first season he's become a fully fledged starter for Chelsea, and I think this season's really kicked him on, right? Because we were here only 2 years ago. I'm gonna jump back a year. We don't do this often, but I'm jumping back a year to see how much he's improved in this one calendar year when he's got all those goals. 174. We're back in 2027. It's all over. This is even more all over the place than usual. Literally 158. He improved 14, so he improved 20 in this season that's just gone here. Because he's up at 174. He's improved about 8 working hard. Okay, fair enough. Right. Anyway, jumping through to whereabouts. I'll go to 2032. So we're at 2032. They're 25 years old apiece. Working hard is at 198 overall. He's agreed to join Bayern Munich in a week's time. He's going on a free transfer. He is absolutely done Bayer Leverkusen dirty. Gone for 96 million. He's been there for a few years. The Bundesliga. Bayern Munich have won it every single year. Bayern Munich don't need the firepower, do they? So he's now up at 198, but hardly working at 200. Hardly working. Now 29 in 29 internationally. He's wanted by Bayern Munich. His work rate's up at 10 as well. So he has improved his work rate, and he's now got himself there to the promised land of being a superstar. He's not actually played as well. That was his best season the last time we were here, where he fired Chelsea to Premier League glory. He have actually just won it again recently, in the most recent season. Pep's in charge of Arsenal. Don't look at the FA Cup winners. Brighton have won 2 FA Cups. Chelsea have won 1. Southampton beating Brighton in the final. Have Brighton had a takeover? Brendan Rodgers in charge. Tycoon took over in 2025, so 7 years ago. Oh, he's just withdrawn the funding. Getting Champions League football, though, Brighton have, last couple of years. Chelsea have also won a Champions League. They've won 2 in this save game. When he was there, probably got a Champions League winners medal for being there. Yeah, won the Champions League there. Work rate. From what we've gathered so far, is we've seen work rate as his work rate's improved, which has helped him accelerate through. So the low work rate was really hampering his progress. So what you need to do is, if you've got a player with low work rate but a great personality, he's now a model professional. What's working hard? Light-hearted. I'll tell you what he is. He's a prick. £96 million. He's just sodding off to Bayern Munich. That is the dirtiest thing you can do in Germany, isn't it? Go for huge money to a team and then just piss off for free. I almost hope he does worse now, but it completely nullifies the point of the experiment. That being said, the experiment's now, it's done with, isn't it? We know what's happened. We know he's got there hardly working. I didn't think he would begin with, but it's only because of improved work rate that he actually has. So Chelsea have done him good. So we are at 25 years old. Right, so we're going to jump forward 6 more years now. 1 more stop off before the end of their careers, and then we're also going to see if they become staff members. Ballon d'Ors, international accolades, and all that jazz will be checked in on properly at the end. But let's go and see in 6 years, 1, if working hard's still up at 198, or if he's got higher, and if hardly working's maintained his 200 current ability. Right, so he's there at Bayern Munich. He's on 199. Hardly working still at 200. His work rate's now up at 11. Wouldn't know anything different, really. We have a quick look at the attribute analysis then, and want to just see Direct comparison in terms of players. If it was me, better in the air, hardly working. Better technically, hardly working. Slightly worse vision and better defensively. Who's got more pace? They're the same on pace. Hardly working's got better strength. Working hard has actually lost one for his work rate. And personality-wise, model professional still. Still light-hearted. Attribute analysis. Loyalty 3. Ambition 13. He's just all over the place. He's dropped a hell of a lot. 19 finishing. How's he been doing for Bayern Munich then? For Bayern Munich, he has been pretty good. 31 hit, 32 there in 34 games. 8.04. What a season. What a season. He's been there for 6 years. For somehow, in the last 6 years, Borussia Mönchengladbach have won 2 titles. Well done, Taifun Korkut. No tycoon either for Mönchengladbach. They've just been run brilliantly. He's been there for the entire experiment. No, not the entire experiment. Excuse me. He's been there for just over 11 years as Taifun Korkut. And in those 11 years, boy, has he done well. So Bayern Munich have not won the league every year. It's just it's even worse for working hard, doesn't it? Working hard has just been detriment to his team. Hardly working. In terms of his statistics for Chelsea, he's never cleared an 8. 25 goals a year in the league for 5 years in a row. Tottenham have won the Premier League for the last 3 years in a row. Chelsea won it twice. The Chelsea were champions the last time we were here. Were they? Maybe I missed that. I can't remember even talking about it. And Champions Leagues then. Chelsea beat Bayern Munich in 2030-31. And Bayern Munich have won 3 since then. So over Real Madrid. Chelsea have come runner-up 3 times as well. That is unlucky for Chelsea. But in the most recent season, it was Bayern versus Chelsea, where Bayern beat Chelsea and they're in 33-34 and in 30-31. So Bayern have lost 1 of the finals. That was actually the final of the very first season. 29-30. Was he there at 29-30? I don't think he was. That's when he was still at Leverkusen. No, because he went at 32-33. They've both been there in the Champions League finals. 33-34 and 37-38. So let's go and have a quick look at the schedule. And it was hardly working who did score for Chelsea, but Matey Boy didn't score for Bayern Munich. And he didn't score there either. Working Hard did not get a goal in the final in the most recent Champions League either. Okay, end of the careers then. I think Working Hard is about to retire at this point, because he wasn't there the next season. Hardly Working, still at 188 and 187, so Hardly Working has got up to 12 for his work rate. He did play another season for Sheffield United, but then he was gone by the time we came back, so he must have retired at the end of the following season. Yeah, Working Hard retired from here. In terms of his career, 442 goals. I'm in the way. 442 goals in 615 league games, 143 played the match at 7.71 overall. 7.55 overall over here, and yeah, very good return, very similar sort of record. In terms of England, 124 in 123. 200 grand a week at Sheffield United at 36 years old. Can they afford that? Yes, they can. They just won the Premier League twice in a row. What on earth has gone on here? So he's left Chelsea, who are 17th. He became a Chelsea legend. He's just pissed off from Chelsea. I thought, he's gone to go and mug about with Sheffield United, avoiding relegation, because he's not good enough to stay at Chelsea. No, Sheffield United, league champions. 32-33 was last time Chelsea won it. 3 years in a row for Tottenham, as we saw. Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal, Sheffield United, Sheffield United. Thomas Tuchel in charge. Right, in 2027, they had a tycoon. But then Serrano left in 2039. And then Jeff Shee took over. Can't believe it. They've won the Premier League twice. I've got to go through another year again. I've got to go back forward that year to see if they won it again. They did. 3 years in a row. Hardly Working. Average rating 7.55. Player of the year at 37 years old. He's now a manager, as we saw, unemployed manager. He spent 2 years at Sheffield United, where he won the league twice. In their 3 in a row, they won it. Chelsea recovered to finish mid-table. in this season. I'm a bit shocked, a bit floored by it all. In terms of the FA Cups then, Sheffield United have won an FA Cup back here. Brighton, Chelsea runner-up again. Not won many FA Cups though of Chelsea. Sheffield United. Chelsea won a Carabao down here. Tottenham coming run-up a lot in the Carabao Cup. 4 Champions Leagues, and that is about it. Look at this. Brighton losing to Bayern Munich in the final. Nice losing to Man City. Bayern Munich then, again, Mönchengladbach have won a couple of Bundesliga, but it's mainly been Bayern Munich. And of course, we've seen how many Champions League Bayern Munich have won. So, Footballer of the Year, hardly working, beats working hard the most recent season. Normally, I just want the experiment to prove me right, and I want the player that's got the better stat to do really well and the other one to flop and to show how important individual stats are. For a long time in this experiment, for a long time in this recording, I've been rooting for hardly working. And this to top it off by, I mean, I don't know. I suppose I slagged working hard off for leaving Bayer Leverkusen in the lurch and going to Bayern. Whereas hardly working left Chelsea to go to Sheffield United. But it feels different. Even though they both left for free, it feels different. Like, Sheffield United, I suppose in real life, are, at the minute, a championship side. So it's, I think, going from Chelsea, who are one of the big six, really. So working hard, anyway, has won the Footballer of the Year quite a lot. Hell of a lot. He's absolutely whitewashed it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6-1. Hardly working did actually win the Golden Ball quite a bit more than working hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 4. Quite a bit more. Once more. Not quite a bit more. Team of the Year. The working hard got in the Team of the Year. Hardly working did not. No, so that is understandable though, if you think about it, because for Bayern Munich, he was not only playing a hell of a lot for Bayern Munich and they were winning, they did win the Champions League considerably more than Chelsea did. He got 138 goals in 155 appearances, so just slightly more goals, but a worse goals to game record than hardly working. In terms of England, how long did Ralph last? Oh, he resigned after that tournament. He resigned at the end of that World Cup. Must have lost. Yeah, he was only there for another few days. Didn't even make it 2 years. And then Rafa Benitez came in for just over 4 years. Then Jose, Lopetegui, Remy Riau, and Alfred Schroeder is the current manager. Remy Riau, 7 years, 38 days, 4 cup wins. What were those cup wins, I hear you ask? Well, there's been 3 World Cups. They won the Qatari World Cup, beating France in the final. And Brazil, Argentina, Brazil, England, Spain are the winners of those tournaments. And in terms of the Euros, 3 Euros for England in this save game, with France and Holland in between. So that is the end of this experiment, guys. What have we learned? Work rate. God, what have we learned? It feels like work rate's not that important. I think it is. I think the early days where he had very low work rate was a testament to how little he was coming through. It was only when his work rate started to improve did everything sort of push on. So if you've got to play with low work rate, you really need to get them with a higher work rate so they can come on, flourish and thrive. And he arguably had... Did he have the better career? I suppose in terms of team accolades, he probably didn't, because I think Bayern Munich won more titles in Germany and they won the Champions League a lot. But I think leaving Chelsea, having been league champion a couple of times, and then going to Sheffield United in the twilight years of your career, winning it a couple of times and being player of the year in your final season, there's a charm to it, isn't there? Anyway, gang, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been educational in some capacity. I hope you've taken something away from it, whether it be a little bit of enjoyment, a little bit of education, or anything, I suppose. So yeah, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, stay tuned for what's coming, because we've got an average hidden attributes test coming very soon, as well as a few other things. So yeah, put the notification bell on. Why not, eh? Get a little notification of my silly thumbnails coming through to your phone. Love it. 7 PM of whatever day I put things up ish. Yeah. I'll do, gang. Take care, and I'll see you soon.